Alright, we're going live. How's it going, everyone? I just woke up to a killer headache. I had a big headache last night, actually. And I know they were releasing a new trailer, Capcom was, and they're releasing a new Developer Diary number 2. So I've not seen the diary, but when I woke up, I did watch the trailer. The trailer's great. We're going to rewatch it here just for everyone else who maybe just wants to rewatch it, or maybe somebody who genuinely hasn't seen it before. I know it's possible. And then we will be watching the apparently very long Developer Diary, and I'll be sharing my thoughts on the changes that they're going to be making. I'm actually really excited. A whole hour of content. Capcom really pulling through here. This is going to be just like last time, Developer Diary number 1. My biggest concern, just like before, was whether or not you can hear me properly, but also you can hear them properly. So just tell me if you don't like the volume balance, and maybe I'll try to edit it. In fact, before we begin, we're starting 5 minutes early so that I can kind of do some testing. I'm going to be testing. I want to see which volume channel I have my PC on. This is my PC. Let's go ahead and hit this play button. Oh, no, I don't want that. This wireless keyboard's awful. All right, so I'm going to hit the play button so I can see which volume channel I have this on. All right. Oh. Okay, I see. I see. Whoa, it says I'm too loud. Here, let's adjust the microphone a little bit. How do I adjust this microphone? I gotta find out what makes it quieter and louder. So I'm gonna click my fingers. All right, and now I'm gonna adjust it. All right, so I've adjusted my microphone. And now we're gonna go ahead and hit this play button again, just to double check. Okay, now I know which volume channel this comes from. All right, you all ready to start? I'm so excited. I've never been so excited in my life. How's it going, everyone? Amani says he was up late clapping booty cheeks. You don't know that. Need more Pokemojis. Sounds good. Pokemon emojis. Victor Antonio. Victor, did you know if we pick up... how many? If we pick up... I'm trying to think, because last night we got 3 members. If we pick up 11 new members, 14 emojis unlock for us. Did you know that? So I can add all the Pokemon emojis you've ever wanted. Let's go ahead. Actually, I'm going to be disabling... Here it is. I'm going to be disabling the Streamlabs overlay because I don't want that popping up in the middle of this. The potential of somebody maybe spamming it with like $1 over and over. Make sure no one kind of messes that up. So you've all heard me say it. Don't make Streamlab donations in the middle of it. I mean, you can if you want to give me money. I'm not going to reject that, but you're not going to get to see Shuckle pop up. Fair warning. Okay? I can still see Super Chats if you want Super Chats. All right. Please remove your YouTube bar. It hovers over our own and looks trippy. Well, that'll go away in a moment. That'll go away when we get started. Thumper's ready. How's it going, Victor? Let's see. I'm watching on Xbox, so I don't have that problem. There you go. Leroy Jenkins. Yeah, let's get started. It's just the trailer. I think most people have seen the trailer. Oh, also, I reserve the right to pause the video in the middle of the video like an annoying dad, and then to talk without hitting the unpause button. Let's go ahead and get started. I might even fast forward. Who knows? 57 minutes is a long time. You know what I could do? I could speed up the video. So let's get started with the trailer. Oh, I apologize. We're not at the trailer. Hold on. We can fix that. Wait. So is the trailer separate from the, I thought they were together. How did I do this last time? Huh. They must be separated. Interesting. No, I see. So they do their little introduction and then the develop. Okay. I apologize, everyone. I'll stop ruining the video now. I'll stop ruining it. Let's hit that play button. Let's clap them booty cheeks.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ryozo Tsujimoto, producer of Monster Hunter World Iceborne. back to share some more information about Iceborne with everyone.
I'm Kaname Fujioka, Executive Director and Art Director of Iceborne.
I'm gonna start putting Ryoza in
And I'm
every one of my
Daisuke Ihara,
thumbnails.
Director of Iceborne. Let's get started! Today, we have a ton of information we'd like to share with everyone. We hope you're ready for a full digest.
I am, in fact. Let's go ahead and move this out of the way real fast. My apologies. Try to get that bar to go away.
This old
There it goes.
Everworm, from what we know, has the power to obliterate ecosystems from their very foundation. We must stop it no matter the cost.
You've seen it?
It was long before the first fleet was dispatched. There was an explorer searching for the new world. I hoped our paths would cross again.
She needs the speed crawler skill so she can crawl under that hole faster.
What is...
Songs. The ecosystem. Old Everworm. Is this about Velkhana?
We need the Dragon Razor
Okay.
ready now!
Oh. Brachy, baby.
We've discovered unnatural fault lines all over this place. This all points to frequent seismic action throughout the area.
Wait a sec.
The old Everworm.
Master!
This may be a 5th fleet assignment. But your master left you something to find. If you don't chase that truth, then it will be lost forever. Come with us.
Hunters fight hard, and stay smart!
Hey!
She just saw a Starbucks. No, I'm just kidding. What's this? Jellyfish monster? No! Alright, there's your little
As
teaser.
everyone has just seen, our latest trailer features several story scenes from Monster Hunter World Iceborne.
Here, I told you I
I'd like
reserved the
take
right to
time
pause
break
things
down
over and
some of
over
the things
again.
that appeared in the video.
I want to mention, I noticed in the
Well, tell everyone as much as we can at this
As much
time.
as we can. Got it. View of the game. We tried to answer questions such as, why is there a new world? What do people from the Research Commission do? We went to great lengths to include that information. But now that we've essentially explained all of that, we worked to add a bit more backstory to each character.
I want to know who's in love with who. That's all that matters in
We wanted to
stories.
develop a story that touches upon their personal story arcs. This time we made a point of fleshing out the story with the growth of characters such as the handler, the tracker, and the field team leader.
I want to know if
This
the
is one of the
handler's
most notable
bulimic. Is that how she
aspects of
stays in
Iceborne.
shape?
I see. Moving along, I think it's time we talk about the monsters that appeared in the trailer. First
Yes.
of all, a fan favorite, Brachydios.
Bracky, baby.
It made its first
Cover me
appearance
in your
Monster
slime,
Hunter 3
Daddy.
Ultimate when it was featured as the flagship monster of the game. Brachydios is a monster with hard blue shelling, but do you see
Oh,
the
woo.
glowing green parts at the tip of its legs and on its head? That's actually slime. This slime's special
Let me lick my fingers,
characteristic
baby.
is that when it sticks to a surface, it undergoes a chemical reaction, and then it explodes.
I bet.
Brachydios has a symbiotic relationship with this slime.
Brachydios has the same design as it did before, but we've added a few new moves. Depending on the move, the slime explodes at different time intervals. These new attributes can pose a challenge even for those players who think they've mastered the Brachydios fight in the past. So I think all players are going to have a real good time fighting this monster.
And it seems that sometimes your feet can get stuck.
That's
Oh,
right.
interesting.
The slime can cause this effect as well.
This time around, you'll need to be extra careful of your positioning when engaging Brachydios.
AKA just use a
It's
bowgun.
very much designed for Monster Hunter World.
The next monster is Barrier.
Barriath is a monster that first appeared in Monster Hunter Tri. It's a white flying wyvern that can move quickly, even on ice. It's one of the more distinctive monsters. It uses its spikes as hooks to propel itself across the ice. It's a monster that has complete freedom in its movements.
Yeah, the rest of the monsters
For
don't
its
have
moves,
complete freedom,
we
but
have
he does.
reimagined this monster's unique tempo, which means that its speed fluctuates between stillness and quick movement. And as a part of Monster Hunter World, Barriath can make use of the environment to its advantage. For
I actually
example,
thought he
there's
was
a
the
move
best
where it can
fight
utilize
of
walls
the
to attack
3
you.
in
At first, taking down Barriath may seem like
Monster
a
Hunter
daunting
GU.
task, but if you strategize and aim to break its body parts, it becomes a much more manageable hunt.
Oh,
As you
interesting.
know, in the last trailer for Iceborne, we introduced Glavenus to everyone. And this time,
Is its tail.
Tail into a katana-like form.
Oh,
And this
interesting.
time, it will attack you quickly and with precision. At this point, if your defense is weakened, this monster is going to deliver some nasty damage. So while you try your best to avoid the defensive debuff, you'll have to play smart and consider your positioning while its tail is sharpened. It's going to be a fun fight that'll have you thinking on your feet.
When the tail's sharpened, this monster's in its most powerful state.
So I guess you could
Aspect of
say,
trying to figure out
instead
how
of
to
calling him
class
acidic
this
Glavenus,
thing
he's
is
more
part of
like
the monster's design
Weebinus.
that differs from the regular species.
today we formally introduced Acidic Glavenus to everyone and made some of its details public. But there are other subspecies that will appear in Monster Hunter World Iceborne, so there's still more to come.
Oh,
Next up, we'd like
Developer
to take this
Diary
opportunity
3.
to discuss the scene that appears at the very end of the trailer. We think everyone is eager to know what's going on here. This monster is brand new and is
Yes.
making its debut in Monster Hunter World Iceborne. The name of the monster is Namio. We can't go into too much detail, but maybe we can quickly touch upon this
Whoa.
monster.
Namiel's an elder dragon that can manipulate water. We wanted to expand on the elder dragon theme.
Namiel
in
uses
Monster
surf.
Hunter World. As an example, Velkhana's an ice-themed elder dragon. It was one of our goals to create elder dragons with various characteristics. This time, we wanted to challenge ourselves to depict a water-themed elder dragon. I think we designed a monster that's going to be really fun to fight, and we hope people are eager to face it.
In the trailer, there
Oh,
was
I'm eager.
also an appearance in one of the scenes by the new Lynian characters, the Boa Boa.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Right. The Boa Boa are native to the hinterlands.
Why are the natives always depicted as,
You
like,
can see the
clumsy
fur-like
and
material covering their
backwards?
heads. That's
These are the
actually
natives.
Popo's fur.
Not as
And
sophisticated
just
as
like
us, of
Popo,
course.
The Boa Boa try to make themselves look bigger in order to display their strength.
The Boa Boa have their own special culture, and those that are strong or adept at hunting are respected figures in their community. As a part of this highly critical culture of the Boa Boa, hunters can interact and deepen their relationship with them.
Oh my gosh, that's adorable.
It's an interesting little side story in which the relationship between hunters and Lynians improves as you complete quests.
That's right. Well, we have just introduced the Boa Boa, the new Lynians that appear in Hoarfrost Reach of Iceborne. But
Dude, that
there
was
are
awesome.
other Lynians as
They
well.
look great, actually.
By the way, I heard that your relationship with the Lynians has an impact on the Raider Ride feature, which we introduced before.
Right. By forging a relationship with each Lynian group, your Palico will teach you how to ride certain monsters. So it's worthwhile to become friends with the Lynians that you come across in each locale.
That means you'll be able to use the whistle.
That's right. You will be able to use the Raider Ride call.
Next, we'd like to talk about Velkhana, the flagship monster of Monster Hunter World Iceborne. Until now, we haven't explained much about Velkhana, but now we'd like to take this opportunity to go in depth about this monster and share some details.
Was there like 17 days left before the launch of the game?
You could
The
say that it's
expansion?
a monster that can utilize ice in a very unique way. It's a monster whose breath is a distinctive trait. Velkhana actually exhales chilled air. When this frigid air comes into contact with various objects, it causes ice pillars to form.
As a beam
suddenly.
attack.
An important aspect of dealing with this monster is considering how to use these ice pillars to your advantage during combat.
As you can see from the scenes in the trailer, Velkhana shrouds itself in an armor of ice. When Velkhana is covered in ice, it's in a state where it can exercise its power to the fullest extent. Trying to neutralize this power will factor into how the hunter has to maneuver
Use flamethrower.
when facing this monster.
Super effective.
By attacking its layers of ice, you can shear them away, and by doing so, you can mitigate Velkhana's command over the ice. Keeping this in mind when you are in this monster's vicinity should provide you with a clue for defeating it.
So that's all the monster details we have for you this time. There are still
A lot of the
more
moves
monsters
there
that
look
have
very
yet to be
similar to
announced,
moves
so
we've
be
seen
the
on other
lookout for more
monsters.
information in the
Even
future.
the ice that pops up out of the ground, it looks like something from Lunastra, but maybe like a physical
We would
object that
now
you
like
can't
to take
pass
this
through.
opportunity to explain the contents of the title update that will be distributed on the launch date of Monster Hunter World Iceborne. And we'd also like to share with everyone some changes that'll happen from Monster Hunter World to
You better.
Monster Hunter World Iceborne.
I want to know all the changes.
There's a lot to go through, so I'm going to ask both of our directors, Fujioka and Ichihara, to explain this information to everyone. These changes include game balance.
Oh god, I'm about to put it on
tweaks that will help
1.25
players enjoy
speed.
Monster Hunter World even more. We'll talk about not only the changes that are happening, but also the intent behind the changes. And we hope this will help you understand why these changes were made.
アイスボーンに、アップデートされるワールドがアップデートされた場合にやっぱりマスターランクっていうのが足されることになるのでマスターランクを
No translator for these guys?
いろんな部分でちょっと調整を入れないといけないといった部分がやっぱ、
Maybe I should do the translation since I got the text right on screen.
できる限り
We're going to touch on a lot of things,
いきたいなと
a lot of that right now. Player actions, holy smokes. Let's start by talking about the changes to the weapons. We made some updates to how weapons work. Good. We want that. This will affect how you hunt in Iceborne, and they all have some degree of impact. Interesting. Look, we're watching anime, says Shinji. Oh my god.
まず大きなコンセプトというか調整のコンセプトみたいなところがありますので、そのあたり少し市原の方から説明してもらいます。
モンスターハンターワールドアイスボーンで、全体的にこう調整をかけるにあたり、2つ、大きな、部分を注意しながら調整を入れさせていただいております。で、一つは、属性武器っていうのが、比較的
Element-based weapons were only being used on, like,
がありましたんで、
you know, a few of the weapons. Dual blades, bow, some of the faster.
追加されることで、より上位の武器
We have a whole new rank with equipment and skills that need to be worked on. What?
その辺の鳴らしを行っております。で、この2つを、全体的に、ゲームバランスを
Making things better for players. You better make things better for players.
少しワールドの方でも無属性武器に終盤偏ってしまう部分っていうのがどうしてもあって、
I would, you know, the non-elemental weapons were really good for certain weapon classes, but that's not true at all for other weapon classes.
不利になる属性みたいなものがいろいろある中で、いろんなゲームデザインしてるんですけど、ちょっと、ワールドの方は終盤無属性
It's just because Elementalist was too strong. Non-elemental boost. That's all.
その属性遊びっていう
And they didn't release any good weapons for high elemental damage for certain weapon classes. So all they really had to do was release good elemental weapons for like great swords.
ちょっと細かい部分にはなるんですが、全体的な、調整箇所のご説明をさせていただ
I
き
think
ます
I've seen this before. I think I made a video on this already. They talked about
まず
this.
はその全武器に影響するお話なんですけど、属性の上限値ですね、スキルを、乗せていったときに、どんどん属性
So max scaling for elemental damage has been reworked. Weapons' base elemental value no longer starts low, and it quickly reaches its max value. Does that mean it's cheaper to make it reach its max value? What do they mean by that?
属性値がどんどん上がっていった時の上限っていうのが グッと引き上げられていると。
スキルビルドをこうしっかりとやっていく中で、属性をどんどん積んでいったときに、
I hate to do this. I'm gonna grab my keyboard.
の調整を行いました。はい。はい。
Some of you may be surprised you can do this,
そういう形で属性
but I've always known
周り
about
の
it.
性能の引き上げを行った
There we go.
行いまして、
We're gonna get through this a little bit faster.
各武器のアクションの威力と、その威力を踏まえて武器の全体のバランスの調整も、行わせていただきました。まず体験に関してからなんですけど、
Great sword. Ah, this is what I'm looking for.
ため切りの出せるまでの手順っていうのを、ある程度詰めることができるようになったので、全体的なそのダメージ値を出しやすくするために、主にため切り1と強ため切り2段階ですね。威力と。
Alright, so elemental scaling on the actual moveset's improved. That's good.
ため切りの方なんですけど、こちらは威力と V ダメージの方をちょっと下げさせてもらってまして、
Oh, and abnormal status scaling.
で、体験の立ち回りとしてため回りを規定に立ち回ることになるので、ため切り派生のアクションの方を取り増しやすく調整入れさせてもらいました。ため切り以外の部分では、飛び込み投げ
Very good.
あと強投げ払いのですね、この辺の属性値状態異常
Is this, are they just going to go through all the weapons in this manner and just say it's better for all of them? Jumping slash, what's that? Oh, of course. I understand. This is basically how I watch all stuff on YouTube, if you guys didn't know it. I actually normally do it on 2x speed, but I don't want it to go that fast because I don't think you guys will be used to it. Okay, here we go. If you can't use the spirit gauge, the crit eye effect will not activate. Oh, okay. Attack hitbox and attack power have been decreased. Attack hitbox and attack power. So I'm assuming what they mean is the range of it has gone down. The attack power of the first hits for Spirit slash 3 has been decreased. The first hits for Spirit slash 3. Huh. The attack power of the fourth hit of Spirit Storm, when done to the monster's head, has been decreased. Longsword nerfed. Very interesting. Huh. I heard people talking about this.
少し短縮していただいたのと、威力自体をわずかに下げております。確か鬼人斬りの方がメインの攻撃手段になってくるかなと思いますので、鬼人斬り3の1ヒット目と2ヒット目の威力を少し上げさせていただいております。
Interesting.
この辺の攻撃を割っていくことになるので、ベースのダメージアップという形の調整を入れさせていただいております。はい。乗り成功後の鬼人4連斬りのモンスターの頭部に対する4回目の攻撃の威力がダウンします。アイスボーンの方で追加するアクションも踏まえて、全体的には非常にバランスを取ったつもりではあるので、どちらのアクションも
Guess they felt that the longsword was just doing too well.
双剣の方が全体的に下方修正。
Overall elemental and abnormal status scaling has been decreased. Interesting. I guess that means dual blades are going to rely less on their elemental type than before.
スキル遊びをしていただいて、この元値をどんどん上げていってもらうといった感じが、遊び方としてはすごく理想だなということで、今回ちょっと思い切った数値を。
Maybe having a higher base attack is more, or maybe they were just doing too well over the balance changes. One skill increases elemental attacks as you continuously attack the monster. Right, we heard about that. So considering this, I hope you understand why we went in this direction for the dual blades. Oh, so they introduced new skills and they had to, because the skills are so good, they had to nerf base damages on the weapons to account for this. I can see why they would do that. The hammer. I really like the hammer too. Hey, there we go, more KO damage. That's what I was asking for. Perfect. Hunting horn, speed increased. Startup speed encore. Backward strike, attack power increased. Awesome. So hunting horn buff. Hunting horn really was slow when it attacked. Switch axe. While swing will... Wait a second, I want to read this carefully. While pressing circle button repeatedly, I like how they use a PlayStation controller. Here we go. So on the Xbox, that would be the B button. If a button is pressed to combo into another attack, even if you stop pressing the circle button, wild swing will not stop. Fade slash motion has changed to move you even further back. You know what? Last night I was using switch axe and kind of practicing that fade slash. I'm surprised I didn't learn to fade slash sooner. It's actually really good for spacing. Axe morph has been added to attack route when you land after canceling and landing from elemental discharge. When you land after canceling and landing from elemental discharge. Left and right evade distance. Left and right evade distance increased while in axe mode. That's good. Fixed an issue where super armor would not be present while climbing ledges in axe mode. Climbing ledges in axe mode. Interesting. The axe was tricky to use for some players, so we tweaked that. Overall base and floor. Face slash was a move that wasn't used by many players. Huh. It's so funny, I was just learning Fade Slash last night. I was like, damn, why am I not using this? Alright. Alright. So, general just buffs to the damage output. Okay. Ah, Charge Blade! Here, let's take a look at Charge Blade. So, let's see. Elemental files will now spread less and hit closer together. What does that even mean? Spinning slash attack slightly increased. Fade slash attack power slightly increased. Dash slam slightly increased. I gotta sneeze. Jumping slash attack power slightly increased. Axe smash attack power slightly increased. So basically they're improving a lot of the moves that people aren't using. Overhead slash. Here we go. Amped elemental discharge attack power slightly decreased. Super amped elemental discharge attack power slightly decreased with files available. Yeah, okay. That's interesting. So I think they want us to spam the save fewer times. Essentially, they want you to have more like moveset variety from what I'm getting from this. More moveset variety. All right. I wish there was a way to pause this without causing the bar to pop up. YouTube should think about this. Oh, third attack power decreased? Oh, wow, they're really taking a lot of the moves and decreasing it. Insect Glaive, attack power, and mount build up. There we go. So mount damage on the Insect Glaive was always surprisingly low. You would play Insect Glaive and you couldn't get a mount, somebody else would get the mount. And it was almost like a joke because somebody would get it. So, funny enough, the hammer was probably one of the best aerial weapons as well as the greatsword. Greatsword technically would probably be the strongest, but the hammer had so much like the spinning aerial bludgeon and a lot of control over what direction it went when it did ledge hop. So it was kind of funny because Insect Glaive is supposed to be the aerial weapon. Mounted attacks now do more damage while moving from body part to body part. Huh. So with the Insect Glaive, while you're mounted, when you jump back and forth, you do a little bit of damage, and they're saying now it's even higher. Huh, that's so strange. I guess to encourage you to mount monsters more. We even increased the damage amount across the board. Alright, so the Kinsects have been buffed. Bow! Let's take a look at the bow. Everyone's curious about the bow. Aim distance has been reworked so that super critical range will now be displayed. Super critical range. What? Normal shot level 1 damage to parts decreased. Elemental scaling decreased. Normal shot level 2 damage to parts slightly decreased. Elemental scaling decreased. So it looks like the bow and the longsword nerfing. Decreased. Decreased. Power shot. Decreased. 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 What? Now, bear in mind, guys, remember, he did say that there were going to be skills in the game that allow you to receive more and more elemental damage as you continuously attacked, and that's why they were nerfing the dual blades. It's probably the same case here with the bow. They're probably thinking, ah man, this new skill just makes the bow insane. So that's probably what these decreases are about. Again, he says we had to tone down its damage output. Normal shots level 1 and 2 had their part damage. Elemental scaling toned down. The shots fired 3 to 4 arrows at once, so it'll affect all hits. Yeah, okay. Ooh, Dragon Piercer, I'm so curious. So arc shot, stun scaling decreased. That's a big deal because the bow was like crazy good at crowd control, right? You guys know what I'm talking about. Think about the Legiana bow versus not Kushala, Arch-Tempered Kulturoth. Yeah, it was ridiculous. So they're actually decreasing the arc shot. That's so interesting. Dragon Piercer's been nerfed too. Why would you nerf Dragon Piercer? Nobody even uses it. They should have just said buffed like crazy. Slightly decreased. They're saying slightly decreased here. Mid-air shot has been nerfed. Whew. A lot of nerfs. Well, hopefully the bows, you know, still end up really high in damage, because that's what it does, you know. So this is my favorite weapon group, the light bowguns and the heavy bowguns. I'm a big fan. Spread ammo, vertical firing range expanded? Why would you expand it? After a cluster bomb is fired, it can no longer be detonated on the way up, only once it begins its descent. I don't know what the point of that is. Increase the number of ammo crafted when crafting the elemental ammo and the exhaust. And poison. Ooh, secret poison and exhaust buff. Decrease the number of bomb berries you can possess. There you go. So one of the things that made the cluster bombs so ridiculously cheesy is you could carry like 10 bomb berries. And there you have like wyvern ammo. It has shorter range and you could only carry 5 dragon strike nuts. So it's just kind of like, why are bomb berries so favored? Oh, look at that. Normal ammo buff and pierce ammo buff. Hell yeah. Oh, that'll be nuts. Okay. Cluster bombs nerfed. Wyvern ammo buffed. Yeah, that actually all seems just about appropriate. I almost want to say the wyvern ammo didn't even need a power increase. But, yeah, that's great. Hopefully there will be a way to upgrade the Griffin Bazookas, like my favorite weapon. Sometimes they'd hit monsters on the way up and explode, making it hard to use. Oh, he means it would hit the monster on the way up and split apart, and the bombs would go everywhere. Sticky ammo too? The sticky ammo's been buffed? What? And then the elemental ammo has raw damage that's been increased, but the elemental scaling decreased. That's weird. What's the point of calling it elemental ammo then? Decrease the cooldown period for heavy bowgun special ammo. Dang, it looks like the bowguns just got... I mean, cluster bombs aside, it looks like they got buffed. So strange. Okay. Okay. Poison resist is better, stun resist is better. That's good because, you know, it never... Look at stun resist, level 1, level 2. It never really mattered taking level 1 or 2 stun resist. Really, only level 3 stun resist mattered. Hopefully they're doing this with paralysis as well. Minx wanted slice ammo buffed. Why do we even have a skill called Hunger Resist? No one uses it. Iron Skin reduces defense down status even more. So that might be important. Taking 1 level of defense down versus a defense down monster. Blight Resist might be important. Tool Specialist is better? Oh. Oh, but they nerfed Temporal Mantle. Never mind. That's good though. Tool Specialist, lately I haven't been using it. I've been on the fence about it. In favor of Evade Window. Yeah, he says it right there. If you didn't fully slot for the skill, it didn't really matter. Hi. Airborne's been buffed. Crit status. Okay, crit status works better for the slow weapons. Same with crit element, although it doesn't say for just the heavy weapons, that's for all. We knew non-elemental boost would be nerfed. Defense boost. I'm so curious about this. At level 3 and above, defense of the equipment equipped is increased 5% to 10%, even more depending on the level of that skill. What? At level 3 and above, defense of the equipment equipped is increased 5% to 10%. Yo, that could be a big deal right there. So when you're talking about like adding plus 10 defense, plus 15 defense, plus 20 defense, it barely makes a difference. One of the reasons why the Fortitude skill is so powerful is because it doesn't really work that way. It uses percentages to take what you already have and then to boost it fractionally, right? So 10% of like, let's say you have like 500 defense already, and you scale it by 10% more, you're actually dropping 50 defense onto your build. And the resistance at that point starts to look a little more enticing. Depends on if they release armor that actually gives you a fair amount of defense boost efficiently. Because that was the other problem with defense boost. You have sets like the Dragon set that get you to like attack boost 4 easily. We didn't really have any defense boost sets that made defense boost something worth considering, especially when you just needed health boost most of the time. So I'm curious. That's good of them to turn it into actual like percentages rather than just flat increases. Heavy artillery, what? Look at heavy artillery. Now the cannons are going to be insane. 100%? You're like doubling the damage? Alright, let's hit that play button. I want to see defense boost be viable in the next game because everyone dabs on defense boost, right? And so it would be funny to see it come back and be like one of the better skills, but 5% to 10% still actually seems kind of low considering we have Fortitude. But imagine stacking defense boost and Fortitude together. Just think about that, okay? Especially if they're additive, not multi. Is that the right term? I think it's additive. Slugger skill buff? Okay. Okay. It's okay. Stamina Thief? Yeah, I don't know if we'll still take those. Slugger and Stamina Thief, they still look... You know what's funny? The Slugger skill will be even better for the sticky ammo, and the sticky ammo got buffed. So now you've got more powerful Slugger skill, and you've got more damage on the sticky ammo? That's ridiculous. Survival Expert, formerly Spore Puff Expert. Spore Puffs and Thaw Puffs give the player extra health upon use. No one's ever going to use that. So basically, if you have level 3 Survival Expert, you can hit the puff, and then, yeah, you can hit that good puff, bro. And then you can get all your health back. That's nice. Never going to use it. Cliffhanger, stamina use has reduced. Oh, hold on. Wait a second. Now works while grappling with the Clutch Claw? So you could put the Cliffhanger skill onto your character and ride that monster into the sunset. That sounds pretty cool. Sounds like a luxury skill, though, to be honest. Spore Puff Expert is gaining some more utility. Not really. Nobody's gonna use it, bro. Level 3? No way. Give me that level 3 defense boost. I'm just messing with you guys. Alright. Wow, you can heal all the way. I mean, maybe if they're everywhere, right? If the Spore Puffs and Thaw Puffs are literally scattered all over the playing field, then yes, you would consider it. Only then. And even in that case, you're still giving up, like, what, Tool Use Specialist? You might as well just take Tool Use Specialist and get your health boost back. Agitator? Agitator's been buffed? That's great. I want to see... Oh, no, wait. What's this? Oh, at the low levels it's been... Wait. I'm confused. Oh, I see. No, I don't know if I see. Weakness exploit. We know the changes to weakness exploit. I like how they need like this whole paragraph to kind of explain it, because it's kind of one of the more complicated things to understand in the game. Oh, my eyes itchy, man. So weakness exploit still is probably going to be the strongest skill, most necessary skill in the game because of that 50%. After Clutch Claw, obviously. Everyone's going to be using Clutch Claw, but you're going to get that 50% affinity. That's going to be really important. You're going to wound a monster's hide. That'll give you a bonus of 20%. Wow. That's really cool. Alright. Crit eye? Oh, I like that. So the scaling, well, no, it's not too much of a change. Heroics. Alright, I'm curious about heroics. Nobody uses heroics, right? Excuse me, I just burped. So, improved defense on activation and bonus attack power decreased. What? Okay. So level 1. Defense plus 50. It doesn't sound like much, but when you start adding on heavy amounts of defense, it actually does affect your survivability, believe it or not. So level 3 heroics brings you up to 100 defense. Jesus. But you get less attack power. So it sounds like they're kind of retooling the heroic skill to be less about, speedrunning and more about actually being used as a defensive skill. I could see players considering level 3 heroics for that 100 plus 100 defense after they fall below the threshold. I don't know, man. Alright, we'll click on. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like heroics might still be ignored. It's just so expensive to bring even one more set of skills, right? Level 3 heroics for that plus 100 defense. I mean, it assumes you're going to get that hit of damage, and then it's like, well, you could have used a different defensive skill, but I don't know, maybe that's good. 100 defense? Previously it was plus 25 defense. I mean, yeah, that's a big change. You're getting plus 75 defense from previously. It really changes the skill. It really does. The skill used to encourage you to be aggressive at low health, and they realized nobody was using it at all. Now it looks like they're using it as like this move where if you're about to die, it's much harder to get killed. Okay. So Aquatic Expert has been turned into Aquatic Polar Mobility. I suspect we'll be seeing this skill a lot. I'd already thought about that. Fortify fixed an issue where effects would continue during an expedition, and now the duration limit is 50 minutes. Okay, so they just fixed a bug. Max Might says this now activates when stamina is at its maximum for several seconds. Alright, we already knew about Max Might. I didn't even think about that with Fortify. Get yourself killed twice in Expedition, and then... But I mean, like, 50 minutes, that's still a very long time. Why even make that change? Who's really abusing this in Expedition mode, you know? Now, every 50 minutes, you'll have to reset it. What do you think of that? Better stop cheesing. Who's even playing in Expedition mode anymore? Especially when you reach the end game. Flinch free when 3 extracts have been gathered by the Kinsect, knockback reduction is improved even more. What? Mantle time! Hell yeah, I want to see these mantles. We love that people take advantage. Yeah, I bet you do. Temporal mantle called the baby blanket. Okay, so temporal mantle wears down faster if you actually flip. Glider has reduced cooldown. Whew. Assassin's Hood, hold on. Assassin's Hood from Assassin's Creed now causes monsters to flinch from a mid-air attack while in stealth mode. Instead of a knockdown. Instead of a knockdown? Assassin's Hood could cause a knockdown if you did a mid-air attack? What? I don't understand. For real? I didn't even consider that. Wait. Was this something the community knew about? Could you actually get a knockdown from a mid-air attack? I had no idea. Alright, let's see. Let's see if they talk about it. 回避が発動するたびに発動時間をちょっと短く縮めるような形の仕様変更を入れております。効果時間は120秒に延長させてもらってまして、これは変更なしで300秒。で、一発攻撃を受けるごとに Cuts the time by 20 seconds. That's a lot. That's actually really crazy. You can only evade 5 attacks with Temporal Mantle. Ooh. Very big nerf.
ちょっともうほぼ無敵時間のような形で運用されている部分に少し調整をさせていただいております。
Good for them, man. That's a good change. I think it brings the game back into being more of a skilled game because of that. It's still going to be useful for certain fights, in my opinion. What? If you hit a monster with the mid-air move while in stealth, it resulted in a guaranteed knockdown? I did not know this. Who knew that? I've never seen anyone use that before. The benefits were far too strong, so we scaled it back. Bro, nobody used the Assassin's Creed Mantle. Nobody. They nerfed the Assassin's Creed Mantle because it was too strong. Oh my god. Never have I used that mantle for a serious fight. Yeah, you just get a knockdown if you use it. I'm going to use that before they put this patch out. What? They should nerf capture net is too OP. I should make a video on the Assassin's Creed Mantle before they nerf it. Alright. Justice of that minuscule amounts of damage remove mantles less frequently. Track gathering volume has been adjusted for low and high rank progression. Player will end up in an area with good gathering points. That's nice. You can now set your return destination to the option. That's nice. Quality of life changes here. Dude, why would they... Nobody uses the Assassin's Creed Mantle. Monster adjustments.
はい、モンスターに関係するところの、変更箇所のお話をいたします。エリア外から、遠く離れた状態で
Near-death monsters will no longer go to sleep at their nest if the player is present. That's a good change because, you know, it just felt kind of robotic and really strange. So I think that's a good idea. Monsters with friendly relationships will no longer flinch when hit by each other's attacks. Oh god. Get ready for Lupastra and Teoster. Fixed an issue where the abnormal status effect would accumulate even when already afflicted with that status. So what that means is, let's say the monster was paralyzed, and what you would do is you'd deal paralysis damage to that monster, and it would actually start building toward the next paralysis. I actually know what he's talking about. I often experienced this with the KO ammo, the sticky ammo I should say. I noticed while the monster was KO'd, I could continue to shoot them in their head to get them to the next KO very quickly. So they would be taking KO damage. So that's a nerf to the sticky ammo actually. Yeah, that's very interesting. Sticky ammo will be affected by that. The hammers will be affected by that as well. And general ailment weapons will be, but most people don't use ailment weapons. So it's mostly the hammers and the sticky ammo in my opinion. It's interesting. Of course, maybe they're going to release some really powerful abnormal status effect weapons. They really should. Nobody really uses them. There's like some rare exceptions when people actually use them. We good.
そこで爆発してしまってちょっと不自然な見た目になっていたので、すり抜けるようになっております。瀕死の状態で巣まで移動したモンスターがプレイヤーの近くにいる状態でも寝てしまうということが
That's because those monsters were dumb as hell. That was kind of strange logic. That's exactly what I was saying. Yeah. A lot of the changes they're making are things that, oh god damn it. Is that my AC? Now you guys are gonna hear a wind tunnel. Anyways. Monsters can't flinch each other. Wow, it'd be nice if hunters couldn't flinch each other. I'm friendly relationships with all you guys. You're still flinching me out of my big bang. So unfair. Monster, right there. I was just talking about KO'd. While stunned, monsters weren't supposed to take more stun damage. Yeah, I noticed that with the sticky ammo. Wow. They're taking that away? That makes me sad. That's a big nerf. You probably won't notice the change. I'll notice the change because A, I use hammers, and B, I use sticky ammo. I'm like the main guy who's going to feel that change. Okay, quest difficulty now scales in real time. I wanted to mention something about that. So it's going to be 4-player, 2-player, 1-player, right? Why no 3-player? Just go all the way and make it 3-player. Monsters will go into rage mode less easily during low and high rank multiplayer quests. That's fine. Guard directional hitboxes of certain attacks that are difficult to block have been adjusted so that players will not be hit by unintended attacks. What? Guard directional hitboxes of certain attacks have been adjusted so that players will not be hit by unintended attacks. Maybe they mean like roars. The frequency, that's an improvement to guarding, by the way. The frequency of how often monsters' partners will call for each other has been reduced. Huh, okay. Regular attacks will no longer leave wound marks on the monster, as clutch claw attacks will now do that. Alright. Very good. I'm gonna go turn my AC off. Well, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna turn my AC off so I get that wind tunnel to go away, but I'm gonna let them keep talking. They're gonna go to the next slide before I'm even ready for it. We need rapid fire sticky ammo. Hell yeah. Dude, that would be crazy. Rapid fire sticky ammo 3 on the light bow. Alright, so clutch claw leaves the wound mark. That's great.
そうですね。なので基本傷がついてたら肉質が変わってるとそういった感じで捉えておいていただいたらいいかなと思います。はい。最後にちょっとこれは下位上位の方に
Monsters will now build a tolerance to flash
変
attacks.
更されておりますというところのお話なんですけど、先行
Their tolerance will reset
仕様変更
afterwards.
しております。今までは回数で何回以上
Yeah,
かけるともう効かない
flash
みたいな
pods were really OP at the start of the base game. They kept having to nerf flash pods.
クールタイムを設けてまして
So will this retroactively affect the ancient lesson? Because that's kind of a big deal.
その代わり何回でも使う
Their tolerance will reset afterwards. Okay, so I think what they mean is you just can't spam flash pods, maybe?
例えばレウソがやった最初は空中で先行して
He'll eventually become immune.
徐々に
Then the fight becomes real tough since he'll always be in the air.
空中でとどまってるというような形になる一旦はなるんですけど
Now you have to wait for the monster's tolerance to lower before it becomes effective again, or just wait for it to land, if it ever does.
今度は施設とか
User interface?
全体に関わる細かい調整
UI changes. You know I had to take classes on UI? That's a lot of work. Default return destination after a quest can now be changed. That's nice. Health and stamina gauges can be set to display at all times. HUD on-off customization options. Now just contrast. Colorblind settings added. Okay, small changes really.
輝度に関しては少し見え方が変わっておりまして、今まで輝度を上げていくとどんどん白く画面がなっていったのを
Can we skip ahead?
色味をちゃんと残したままが変わる癖のサポート形になると追従しちゃう
There we go. Camera and scout flight settings added. Super fast option to camera speed, reticle speed. Item controls type 4 added. What does that mean? Player silhouette display setting added. That's nice. Hunting horn button guide setting added. Character name display setting added. Trajectory reticle controls added. That's oh, here we go. Hold on. Chat window shadow stickers, gestures, and poses. New stickers added. New gestures added. Set poses and pose sets added. The randomized setting is now available when creating your Hunter and Palico. You can now see all settings when creating your Hunter and Palico. Alright, that's cool. See, this didn't need to be 57 minutes long.
ポーズだけ取るようなものなので、ある1個の項目を連続すると4つぐらいのポーズをいろいろ変わりながらやって
Alright. We know, you added poses. That's very cutesy. Woo-woo. Luminessa added to Hunter makeup settings. Pages added to the quest reward screen. Pages? Why do you need pages? How many rewards did you get? Take all option added to the quest reward screen. Display rules for players' name, color of changes. Story summaries added to the loading screens. Story summaries? Why do we need that? Large monsters, small monsters, and endemic life are separately categorized in the Monster Field Guide. I thought they already were separately categorized. Alright. Really important changes here, guys. This is the stuff you sub for, I know. Sound options added upon booting the game. Sharpness gauge now shows how much sharpness is extended. That's really good, actually. This one right here is really freaking good, because every time I wanted to test, excuse me, I'd have to actually put on 5 levels of handicraft. The game will no longer save when you exit the title screen's options settings without changing anything. Option added to the shortcut menu to accept all guild cards and items for the Palico edit vouchers can now be purchased from the store, allowing you to change the appearance of your Palico. Alright. That's nice. That's nice. Oh, I gotta sneeze so bad. I'm gonna mute. First, my cat wants to be pet, and then I need to sneeze. Alright, up to 80 item loadouts can now be registered. That's amazing. The equipment box can now be upgraded to 100 pages. Up to 28 equipment loadouts can now be registered. That's good. Palico equipment box can now be upgraded. Layered armor loadout option added. Wow, did any of you guys play Destiny and remember what a pain in the butt it was because there wasn't enough holding slots at the vault? And it's just like, why don't you just give us more slots? And here we are, Iceborne rolls around and they're just like, yeah, just have all the loadouts you ever needed. Easy. It fixed it in one move. Should have done that with that other game, man. That's why Bungie has so much troubles. Item box. When registering an equipment loadout, you can now add layered armor. Okay. You can forge layered armor at the smithy. Sweet. Oh, this one right here is so good. Check marks are added to the charms that you already have crafted. So what would happen is you would craft a charm and then you would upgrade it to like level 3, and then it wouldn't tell you if you already had the level 3 version of the charm. It would only tell you if you had the level 1 version of the charm. So check marks added for the fully upgraded charm is going to stop you from crafting duplicates. That was so needed. You can now select between changing hunter or palico equipment with the change equipment option. That was so needed as well, because when you wanted to change palico equipment, you would have to go to your room, or you would have to go to, well, you'd have to go in quest to change it. It was really annoying. Very good improvements. Forged layered armor at the smithy, huh? Hopefully there's a lot of layered armor. People love that stuff. Yes, yes. Smithy, remove all decoration option added. Badly needed. Sword decoration option added to the set decorations menu. Smithy and resource center facilities will become available in the research base as you progress in the game. Ecological research, large monsters, small monsters, and life for several. They already said that. Smithy and resource center facilities. Man, somebody had to make all these slides. Imagine sitting there, typing down all the stuff that's already happened. A lot of nitpicky work, you know what I mean? Very dry work. It's like data, it's like, here, let's continue with this. Quest counter. Threat levels displayed on the tempered monster investigations. Resource center special reward spots have been added to the manage investigations screen. Delete all unregistered investigations option added. Number of investigations you can register and maintain has been increased. That's kind of nice. Endemic life now have sizes. Detailed setting options available under placement in your room. What? Hold up. Look at this. They have sizes now. So what this means is, you know, take an example, a wiggler, right? There's a biggest wiggler now. And it's not enough to just go out and hunt the wiggler. You have to get the biggest one so you can tell all your friends, and especially the girlfriends you're pursuing, babe, I have the biggest wiggler in my room. And they're like, oh my god, the biggest wiggler. That's a big deal right there. Training area. Cumulative damage log has been added to the training room. A damage log? The types of slinger ammo you can pick up has increased. Oh, what's this? Cumulative damage log has been added to the training room. Okay. This was very badly needed. You know, there's build calculators out there. By the way, there's a build calculator on palicoparty.com. And you would use them to be like, what's my potential, you know, effective raw damage going to be with this weapon? But what's interesting is that doesn't tell you the whole story, because it's also about using the most optimal moveset, including burst movesets or sustained damage movesets against the monster that you're fighting. So cumulative damage log is actually really important for understanding what your weapon has the potential to do. And this is going to help you decide, you know, what weapon should I be bringing. So this is a big deal. I'm curious though, does it tell you how much ailment damage that you do? And doesn't tell you how much damage you do with elemental versus raw. So hopefully it does, but Capcom has been pretty surprisingly stingy, I guess is the word, with hiding information and data about what's happening in the game. Types of slinger ammo you pick up can be increased. That's great. When selling life powder, the price is changed to 100 zenny. What? So obscure. Who's selling their life powder? It's like manna from heaven. Nobody should be selling their life powder. Selling life powder? Dude, that's the most obscure thing ever. Oh, bro, did you hear? You can get so much for life powder. Life powder stocks have soared, man. Life powder stocks are going straight up. You gotta invest now. Those are rookie numbers. Life powder? Oh my god. You can sell your demon drugs for 120 zenny now.
効果の高いアイテムが出てきたところもありまして、生命の粉塵の方の売却価格を310から190に変更させていただいております。はいはい。
Ah, yes.
ロビーセッション周りですね。ネットワークのマルチプレイのロビーセッション周りを
Segments of 3, that's great. That's great. 2 welcome messages. That's going to be really good for Clove to Roth, because one of your messages can be, we're track farming Clove, and the second part of the message can be, do not attack at pursuit. So that's really good, actually. Yeah, that's I would say that's fairly large improvement. It's going to be a pain in the butt typing that all in on the Xbox and PlayStation though. Welcome to my Clove session. This is a track farm. Even more details on the official site.
6月の
From the
ベータテスト
beta
を踏まえてですね、たくさんの
Feedback
方に
from
遊んでいただいて
the
本当に
beta
ありがとうございます。はい、でいろんなフィードバックいただきまして、その中でちょっと一部非常に声の大きかった部分っていうのをこちらでも十分に吟味させていただいて、ちょっと調整の方を入れようかなと思っております。
はい、ガンランスの新アクション周りなんですが、
Gaunlance.
開発家が1頭しか読む機能してい
Alright, we know this stuff.
ので、皆さんの
Wormstake Blast loads faster. Combos from Wormstake Blast are now possible. Guard point to the Wormstake Blast loading. Wormstake Blast does not hit the mark, the equipped slinger ammo will drop to the ground, and the detonation damage is slightly increased. All important. Guard point on the Gunlance, boys. Get ready. Ah, my body's so
はい、
ready.
以上でアイスボーンが、発売された以降ですね、ワールドの方にも修正がかかる、項目を、一部、紹介させていただきます。細かいところは全てではなくて、細かいところは全て公式の方にも、上がってますので、どういったところに、調整修正ができるかというのを、確認していただけたらなと思います。
I say happy, you say. Product
And now we'd
information.
like to provide a summary of our product lineup.
Oh,
Monster
God.
Hunter World Iceborne is set for a worldwide release on
Guys,
Friday,
did you know
September
Iceborne is
6th,
available on
2019.
September 6th?
For those who already
bet you
have
didn't know
Monster
this.
Hunter World, by pre-ordering the game at your local store, you can jump right into the action of Iceborne on the release date.
You better pre-order if you want that special armor.
Dude,
Dude, you better get the deluxe edition if you want to play Dark Souls.
For questions
It's just
concerning
like
pre-order,
Dark
please
Souls.
contact your local retailer.
You gotta get that
We're
Silver
also
Knight
currently
later.
accepting pre-orders
Oh
for the digital
my
deluxe
god,
set.
look at
It
that. That's
includes
straight
the
out of
kit,
Dark
which has
Souls.
layers, armor,
Man.
gestures, stickers,
Right there. You're gonna be using the crossbow
If you
and the
pre-order
short
either of these
sword.
editions of the
The
game,
long
you'll also
sword.
be eligible to receive the limited Yukumo layered armor set as a bonus.
Yukuma.
For more information about the product lineup, we encourage you to visit the official site. In order to play through Iceborne, players must reach the ending of Monster Hunter World and be over Hunter rank 16. We're
That's
sure there are
barely
people who
anything.
will
You
have
can do
yet
that
to
like
reach
in a
the ending
day.
of Monster Hunter World by the time of Iceborne's release. With that in mind, we'd like to introduce some equipment recommended for these people.
This is the Guardian armor set, which is outfitted with skills optimal for survival out in the new world.
What?
It features fairly high defense that will let you use it in high ranks, and if you keep upgrading it with armor spheres, this armor set will assist you in your adventure through world up until nearly the end. Using
What are
this
they
armor
talking
set,
about?
you should be able to quickly play
Is
your
this
way
gonna
through
be
world.
available really
We hope that
soon?
by using it, you will be able to join alongside users who are playing in Master rank. We also have a new feature we're calling Hunter Helper. For Master rank users, this means helping high rank and low rank users. For high rank users, this means helping out low rank users. For those who help by accepting a request to complete a quest together with other users, you'll get a special slot for rewards. Just one though. This feature is set up so that a helper will receive a reward based on their rank range.
Because of this
very
benefit to
cool.
higher ranked players, we ask that those with more experience help various other players so that they can claim their reward.
That's a very much needed idea because there was
There's also a trophy
up to
for
this
offering
point.
support to
Let me pause. Up to this point, there was no reason to go backwards and help players with like low rank monsters unless you desperately needed low rank something. And even then, if you just did it solo, it was better because you had cluster bombs and you would just roll through that monster in like 2 seconds and take the materials and leave. So you didn't want to play with the low-ranked players because it would scale up to multiplayer, and of course, you did all the work and they watched. So, excuse me. So having special rewards also included is a good idea.
Less experienced players in various ways.
That's right.
There's a trophy.
Users who have updated to Iceborne will be able to
Good thing
obtain
I
an
don't care
exclusive
about
trophy for
trophies,
helping out other
like,
players.
even a little bit.
Pendants, which are related to trophies, don't offer any abilities, but these twirling and fluttering objects are a great way to decorate your weapons. You can
Oh,
also
never
get these
mind.
by
They're
helping
actually
people.
There
viewable
are other
in-game.
places where
I
you
do
can get
want
pendants
trophies
as well.
now.
That's true. You can get pendants not only by helping people, but also by advancing through the game. Once you've satisfied the conditions to get a pendant, you can go to the smithy where you can have it affixed to your weapon. There's a lot of
Is that a
variations, so we
card
hope
in
you
the
enjoy your
training room?
adventure by adorning your hunter the way you like.
We've reached the end of this video. We hope you enjoyed it. Please stay tuned for later updates and more information. As always, we'd like to finish with our usual sign-off. Are you ready? Happy hunting!
Happy hunting! I say happy, you say. Oh, no, wait. I don't want this. I don't want it. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's going to play one of my videos.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another Monster Hunter.
Okay, we'll pause that. Hey, look. This is one of mine right here. Wake the frick up, partner. We have feet to sniff. Oh, man. Brap, farming with Mommy Colby. All right. Well, what did I get out of that whole thing? What did I get from it? New monster. What was it named? Like Vamelia or something like that? Various changes to the game. Various quality of life improvements, many of which I've already forgotten. Oh yeah, Hammer does more KO now. Sticky ammo does more damage. But both of those weapons no longer KO the monster while the monster is already KO'd. So actually it's probably about balanced out. You do a little more damage with the sticky ammo, but you know what? You're not going to get as many KOs with the sticky ammo. Because funny enough, the easiest time to shoot the monster in the head was when they were already KO'd. Same with the hammer. The easiest time to build KO damage was when you were big banging the monster on the head because they were already KO'd. So, kind of like a nerf buff, which again, I presume would even out. Elemental damage, they keep saying they want elemental damage to be working. So the real question is, will there be a powerful raw greatsword, powerful raw hunting horn, or powerful raw hammer? That's the big question. So will it be the case that now you need to have a different hammer for every fight, a different hunting horn for every fight, a different greatsword for every fight? That's the question. Presumably that would be true. One of the things I didn't see that I wanted to see was if there was going to be major changes to ailments. Because currently, the way I see ailments is they're terrible. I like ailments on the bowguns, and I like ailments on the bow, and that's just about it, because with those weapons, you can control when the ailment comes out. As it turns out, for certain fights, particularly all the important fights, controlling when the ailments come out is, I said that right, ailments. Controlling when they come out is very important, right? It totally changes the usefulness of the ailment. Well, with regular weapons, if you're just always doing a little bit of ailment damage, the ailment pops out. Let's say you paralyze the monster, but one of your teammates is dead, and your other 3 teammates are like all spread out. Well, the paralysis is already half wasted by the time they run in, and there's only 3 of you because one of your teammates is dead. So this is the problem with ailment weapons, melee weapons, and I was hoping they would talk a little bit about maybe making changes or improvements to that, but they didn't talk about that at all, unfortunately. In fact, they actually made it harder for the hammer to KO the monster while the monster's already KO'd. And KO I count as an ailment. Other things. Nerfs to the longsword. Nerfs to the dual blades. Nerfs to the bow. Now, I don't know how bad or good those nerfs are. They did say that they're having this new skill that they need to adjust for, to balance for. So it makes sense for the dual blades and the bow. I don't know about the longsword, though. It looked like the longsword, they just wanted to make adjustments to it because it's too easy. Which, by the way, if you didn't know this about the history of the game, they already did that. The longsword was too easy, so they already adjusted for it. Back when the base game came out, they nerfed it because it was already too easy, and they nerfed it again, it appears. So, longsword OP, bottom line, and hopefully it's not OP anymore. Hopefully it's a little bit in line. We already kind of knew about the hunting horn changes. Were there any others? The insect glaive now does more mount damage, which is nice because people would steal the mount from the insect glaive pretty much all the time. The airborne decoration is stronger than it was before, which means if you're going to be playing like aerial greatsword, aerial hammer, you're more easily able to build for it, I suppose. You would build specifically for it. I heard that aerial damage for the base greatsword has been nerfed heavily. Somebody told me that. And the same's true for hammer, but players expect this to balance out because of the buff to the airborne decoration. So that's interesting. What else? Defense boost. Will defense boost be viable? I don't know. 10% armor, like even in a good case, like if it's not uncommon to have about 450 defense in the game with the mixed armor set. So you would add 45 more defense, and would that be on top of flat defense? Like, will it be add 5 defense to your build plus 10% your total defense? So it would be like plus 50 at the end? I don't know. But I'm curious to see if defense boost ever becomes viable as an actual good defensive skill. Probably it won't be. Probably be too expensive still at level 7. Heroics goes up to level 5 and is not about speedrunning it. I mean, technically, here's the funny part. A skill like Feline Heroics would still be relevant to speedrunners because even if it's a 5% increase to attack, it's still a 5% increase to attack. And when you're speedrunning, the goal is to do absolutely the most damage that's possible to deal in the game. So people, funny enough, will still be looking into Heroics and Feline Heroics. Agitator buff, that's interesting. Also, going back to Heroics, huge defense buff. Level 3 Heroics are able to give you 100 defense, which is like a quarter of all your total defense in the current base game. So I still don't know if people will use it for that, though. I couldn't see myself using it. Yeah. A lot of skills that weren't like a big deal, obvious changes. I'm reviewing it in my head right now. Nothing really blowing my mind, to tell you the truth. Hopefully they have more for us in Developer Diary number 3. But I agree with a lot of the changes. They were changes that I thought the game had needed anyways. And yeah, so Ren says Eric's uploaded a Velkhana gameplay. Oh, very cool. All right, so I think that wraps up this live stream. I think I have thought it all over. Yeah, nothing's really striking me as crazy changes. I like the way the new monster looks. I think he looks really cool. Velkhana looked all right. Velkhana looked fun. What surprised me about Velkhana is that at first it appeared that Velkhana's... Here, let's mute this and just play this in the background, so you guys have something to stare at rather than this dank screen. What surprised me about Velkhana was the moveset actually looked pretty much like it already existed. I noticed the tail attacks were like Glavenus's tail attacks. It had a beam, just like many of the monsters used beams. Valzdog, Zenitjiva, Teostra uses a beam. It doesn't look like a beam, but it is. And then probably one of the most standout moves was when the ice pops out of the ground. But actually, when you look at it a little more carefully, that's basically Lunastra's fire move, right? It's just the same thing, but they've turned it into ice rather than fire. And the ice actually pops up out of the ground, and I'm guessing that it might have, maybe it'll work as an actual physical object that you can't pass through. So yeah, Velkhana looked pretty normal. Yeah, hopefully that new Elder Dragon has really kicked butt, because Velkhana looks nice, but like nothing really blowing my mind. And let me think. They're going to show us the other subspecies. The new acidic Glavenus, he's going to cause, I guess, probably defense down, and his tail turns into a katana. I'm just searching my brain for everything that I saw. I think that mostly wraps everything up. Monsters don't flinch each other. Friendly monsters, which sucks. You're gonna have to farm for the largest wiggler now to put in your room. The largest queen wiggler. That's actually really good for having a kind of a passive thing to work on. Babe, I got the biggest wiggler in my room. Come see it. Layered armors, palico sets. Yeah, there's a lot of small changes, but nothing really stood out as crazy. Gameconomist, you can use the ice-like edges too. Very cool. Shinji says, the poses and the selfies. Don't forget about that. Yes. Got my cutesy pose. Got my ooh-woo. But yeah, I think that basically wraps things up here. Sly Fox says, I'm the horniest horn user. I bet you are. You can edit your palico. That's right. You can actually get a voucher that I'm sure you pay real money for and edit your palico. Hypertian says, what about speedruns that rely on KO chains? Yeah, those are going to be affected by the changes to KO buildup. And it just is the way it is now. It's not really a big deal, I guess. It could be an overall nerf. It could be an overall buff. Because remember, they did actually increase the stun values on the hammer, right? And they did actually increase damage on the sticky ammo. So, because sticky ammo was notoriously low damage. So when they fixed that bug, I guess is what they considered it. When they fixed that with the KO, then they also gave buffs out to the hammer and the sticky ammo. So it's a nerf buff, right? It's supposed to even out, hopefully. Let's see what you guys are saying. I have the smallest wiggler. I'm sorry, Shinji. Can you do a face reveal? Someday. Anything about purple sharpness? Yeah, I don't think they mentioned purple sharpness, but I've heard people talk about having seen purple sharpness coming from the Velkhana weapon sets, or weapons. Wiggler like a mouse, you won't even feel it. Hey, baby, I got the biggest wiggler. Serious gameplay. He can reveal face with a paper bag on his head. Would be epic. Hey, what do you think about Namiel? Or Namiel? Is that right? I think it looks like they probably pulled some deep sea, kind of like the strange lines and the lights. That looks like something out of the ocean, out of some fish that probably lives at the very bottom of the ocean. It's going to be a water monster, and you're probably going to have to use that, mobility skill, and we'll have to see what it's like. I think we all kind of knew it was coming, though. There was an ice elder dragon. The only one we didn't have was a water elder dragon. So those are the big reveals, probably. No more flash pod spamming. That's right. Assassin's Creed Mantle. That wasn't really. They're nerfing it. Literally nobody uses the Assassin's Creed Mantle. No one. And they're nerfing it. I want to try it now. I want to take my Assassin's Creed Mantle and knock a monster down from attacking from midair. Assassin's Creed Mantle OP. Glavinus Weeb confirmed. That would be the Weebinus. Not Glavinus, Weebinus. There's regular Glavinus. He's a total Chad. But then there's Weebinus, and he uses the blade. While you were out having premarital sex, I was studying the blade. That's acidic Glavinus right now. Guardian says, test it right now. We probably could. Malbet, they already confirmed they're not coming for science. Japanese knew it. Assassin's Creed Mantle needs you to sneak. Now, that's true. And people found ways to sneak, like, for example, with the smoke bombs that nobody ever uses. They made the spread ammo spread. Oh, really? Assassin's Creed becomes replacement for Evasion Mantle recently. I have a friend that uses it. The kawaii variation. I'm reading your messages. All right, guys. What do you guys think? Is it time to wrap things up? I think it's time to wrap things up. All right. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.